Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you a game played between Praggnanandhaa Babu and Gukesh. This game is played in the World Championship Candidates Tournament 2024 and we all know Praggnanandhaa. Praggnanandhaa is an Indian chess grandmaster from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, and he is very well known for defeating the former world chess champion Magnus Carlsen in multiple time formats such as the Blitz, Rapid, so you all know Praggnanandhaa and you all also know Gukesh. Gukesh is also from Chennai, India, and Praggnanandhaa and Gukesh are friends. And Gukesh won this candidates tournament, World Championship Candidates 2024, and that made him the youngest chess player to win the candidates tournament and to qualify as a World Chess Championship challenger. So Gukesh will be playing against Dingliren, and today we got a news that the FIDE announced the World Chess Championship match is going to be conducted at Singapore in the Resorts World Sentosa, and the tournament will be held from November 23rd to December 15th this year. And this World Chess Championship features two chess players from Asia, and it's for the first time in 138 years. Usually it will be from Russia and Europe. The players will be from Russia, Europe, US, like Bobby Fischer. But this time it's two players from Asia in 138 years. And without any further ado, let's get into this game. This game is played in the round 2 of the Candidates 2024. Praggnanandhaa is playing with the white pieces and Gukesh is playing with the black pieces. And Prag opens the game with pawn to d5. Pawn to d5 by Gukesh. c4, e6, the queen's gambit decline is on the board. Knight to f3, knight to f6, and pawn to g3. The Catalan defense. Bishop to b4 check, knight to c3, d takes c4, Gukesh grabs the pawn, so this transforms into the open Catalan variation. The open and closed Catalan determines whether if black takes the pawn on c4 or not. If black takes, it becomes open Catalan. If black doesn't and plays something like c6, some other move, then it will be a closed Catalan. And the idea of playing the Catalan is to just sacrifice this pawn and regain it if possible in future, and develop this bishop, the g2 square, to this long diagonal. So this is the king piece. So that is about the Catalan. Then Gukesh castles, Prag castles, knight to c6, a3, attacking the bishop. Bishop goes back to e7. There is no point in taking this. Taking just helps white, and it's there is no such reason to give up your dark squared bishop for no reason. So just go back to bishop e7, e4. Prag takes the center, and the other advantage of giving up the c4 pawn is now the e4 square is up for grabs. Pawn to a6. This a6 move prepares to hang on to the pawn, forming this pawn chain, and it also prepares to develop the bishop to the b7 square, which just counteracts this bishop on g2. So it will be like two opposite forces which are just fighting. Then you have bishop to e3, pawn to b5, queen to e2, bishop to b7, rook ad1, knight to a5, and this knight a5 move just defends the bishop on b7, and it reinforces the diagonal, and it also controls the d5 square. Anticipating the d5 push, Gukesh played this knight a4 move. Pawn to d5, just breaking open the center. Pawn takes, and it's not takes. Prag goes e5, just sacrificing two pawns, pushing everything back into Gukesh position. So knight goes back to e8, and that's the best move. And Prag just plays e6 and further gives up the pawn. Actually, the best move in this position is to accept this pawn for Gukesh and be 3 pawns up, but this position is very dangerous because white has a ton of activity and counterplay in this position, so it's very risky for Gukesh to allow all this. So the line goes like this, but black has to be precise. Once black accepts this pawn, white goes bishop f4, black goes bishop c8, defending the pawn from the queen as the bishop moved to the f4 square. Knight to d4. Now there is a double attack, so rook has to come and defend. Then you have bishop g5 attacking the rook. The rook goes back, but not. The rook doesn't go back. Bringing, going back with the rook just makes no sense, because anyway this center will be lost. So then why you play the move rook f6 in this position? So that doesn't make any sense, right? So you would have played some other move and simply lost this. So yeah, that's why after bishop g5 you don't go rook f7, but rather go c6, which just reinforces this. But this pawn is actually a toast, but let's see. No. This is the trickiest line. This is just computer stuff. Pragg has this move knight takes e6. You may wonder, okay, what is that move? I thought of taking this. Isn't this a free knight? This knight can go and grab that. Yeah, you are right, that's a free knight. But see what are all the complications. Knight takes e6, and white can sacrifice another piece. Knight takes d5. You obviously have to take with the pawn. Then you have bishop takes d5 delivering the check, and in this position white sacrificed 2 pieces, 2 knights, and the best move for black is not to run with the king. You cannot run to f8 or to h8. If you go anywhere, white is winning. White is winning despite down 2 pieces. So that's very critical. So in this position, Gukesh has to sacrifice his queen. Then there is rook takes d5. Then you go rook f7. And if you look at this position, white has a queen, black has 3 pieces, 3 minor pieces for a queen. That is 2 knights and a bishop. 3 minor pieces are usually better than a queen, but this position is actually equal. Yeah, if it were a bishop pair and knight, it would have been a slight edge for black, but this position is equal. So instead of getting into all these complications, Gukesh simply plays f5 in this position. f5 is also okay, it's a good move. Pragg jumps in the center with knight to e5. Once this pawn came to f5, there is no pawn in the f6 square to kick the knight away from the e5 square. So you can just take advantage of the newly created weakness. Then it's knight to f6, queen to c2, and now you will see a lot of maneuvers because the position is quite closed. We will go through it. Queen to c2, pawn to c6, just reinforcing everything. Queen takes f5. You may ask, okay, isn't it very dangerous to grab a pawn which is in the line of sight of the rook? And you may be worried of some discoveries, but if you just look at it concretely, there are no discoveries against the queen. So yeah, so queen to e8 is played by Gukesh. Then you have knight to f7. Pragg just places the knight in the airport on f7, and this piece is such a headache, and black has to somehow get rid of this. And one of the ideas is to maneuver this bishop out of this b7 square use this square to maneuver the knight to b7 and go to d8 and challenge this knight and win. Yeah, that's too long, but it's possible because the position is closed and Gukesh is even up a pawn in this case. Bishop to c8 is played as promised. Rook to e1, rook f1, knight to b7, bishop to g5, just developing the bishop to an active square, putting pressure along the diagonal. Rook to a7. This rook to a7 move has a deeper purpose, like playing this move just reinforces the entire 7th rank. In the future, g7 or the h7 pawns could be targeted by white's pieces, especially the queen, maybe the bishops and the knight. So in that case, having a rook in the 7th rank can just move the minor pieces out of the way, and this rook will defend the 7th rank. It will be a key defending piece. So that's the idea behind rook a7. Bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6, and bishop takes d5 is played by Pragg. You may ask, okay, isn't that a free bishop? Yes, it is a free bishop. Now Gukesh is up a piece, but let's see what happens. Knight takes d5, so Pragg gets a pawn back for his lost piece. Bishop goes back to e7. Okay. Queen goes back to get out of the rook's vision. As promised, this plan is finally executed. Knight to d8, challenging the knight on f7. So the knight takes, Pragg takes the knight, bishop takes d8, and queen to d4. Now, black is actually winning. Why? Because black was successfully able to execute his defensive plan. You may ask, okay, what's the plan? White is down a piece and white's attack is now extinguished. The key attacking piece of white was the f7, which is the problematic piece, and that piece is successfully removed by trading one of the black's knight, which was just grazing in the edge of the board. So this is such a powerful knight, and this is a knight which is just there in the outskirts of the city, and that's traded. And the other key idea is rook a7. Now you can see the plan which we just told before. So now the entire 7th rank is defended. So yeah, rook to b7 is played to get the rook away, because the last move, queen to d4, was just attacking the rook. Rook d4, bishop to f6, queen back to e3, bishop back to e7. You may think, okay, players may repeat the moves, but no. Pragg goes h4. Pragg has to do something because Pragg is down a piece. He has to do something to create an attack. Maybe he has a rook which is very active, so the rook can go to g4, put pressure. The queen can join in once the rook goes there. This pawn cannot capture because the king is there. So there is something, but let's see if there is something or not. Queen to c6, good move by Gukesh. h5, h5 here is, not good. Bishop to c5, queen to g5, bishop takes e6. Gukesh gets the pawn back. h6 by Praggnanandhaa. It looks like checkmate, but it's not checkmate because, you have the rook which is defending. So you don't have to react to all this, and feel free to find the winning move that Gukesh played, which also ended the game. Take your own time. Congratulations if you had found the move rook takes f2, and after Gukesh played this move, Praggnanandhaa resigned the game, and Gukesh emerged victorious in this round 2 of the Candidates tournament. Okay, why did Pragg resign? First of all, Pragg is down a piece, has only one knight. Gukesh has 2 minor pieces, and Gukesh is also up a pawn, and Pragg literally has no attack. The attack is liquidated, so the players will trade the pieces and will reach the end game, and in end game the player with the material advantage has the winning position. So yeah, that's why Pragg is in the game. You may ask, okay, what about check? No, that just loses the game instantly, because you have the bishop lined up to the king and the rook is defending, so you can use this rook to block this check defended by the bishop and the king, counterattack the queen, and it will be a discovered check, winning the queen. So yeah, that's why Pragg resigned the game, and Gukesh won this game. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you everyone. Like the video, consider subscribing to the channel, share it with your friend. See you in the next video. Bye bye.